What is up, guys, and welcome back to this episode of the Positionless Pod. I am Kai Gamage, and I'm here with the wonderful, most bright, young basketball minds in the media landscape today. We're actually without one of us, but I'm here with Aaron Matthew, Diego San Agustin. Last week we did like a sort of two-man featuring me show. This time we're doing a proper three-man show. Michael, Anthony. Did you guys say last week that he's in the Philippines?
Yes.
Okay,
Of
yeah,
course.
he's still there. He's still there. He's scouting.
He's gonna be there for a while.
He's scouting, yo. He's getting some Kai Soto tape, just to make sure that he's ready for the next season of the G League. Could be interesting. But yeah, so just a three-man game, big three. We're back at it, the mid three, back at it again. And
Yes,
we're
sir.
coming at you after Media Day in the NBA, where there was a fair amount of content. Obviously, we had the Jimmy Butler fiasco. My boy, my ball out boy.
I love Jimmy Butler, man.
He's hilarious,
I
man.
love
We'll get
Jimmy.
into that. We'll get into the Raptors today. We'll get into
Your
some,
favorite.
yeah, of course. We have to. So we'll talk about the Heat. We'll talk about the Raptors. We'll talk about Philadelphia 76ers. Whole lot of drama around these teams in the Eastern Conference. What a mess. But first of all, how's it going, guys? You guys doing okay?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Had to wake up early for this one today.
Wow. You're
Really
so
woke me up
brave, bro. Thanks for
Couldn't get my beauty
toughing it
sleep.
out for us.
Of course. That's what I do.
What did we do to deserve you?
Too much. Obviously. I had to make myself a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I was
good.
craving like a strawberry oat latte. So I made a strawberry oat latte. With a strawberry puree in the bottom.
That's so sick, bro.
I hate this, bro. Okay, let's move on.
Low-key, that's kind of impressive, man. I'm not making that for myself in the morning, man. I'm just getting some.
I was just craving. I had some strawberries.
That's cute.
Decided, fuck it. Let's make a strawberry oat latte.
All right. Okay. Moving on. Aaron, you okay, man? How's it going? Doing good?
Absolutely. I'm
Even after
buzzing.
hearing- Yeah. What? Big Hornets guy here, eh?
Yeah.
Go Buzz City. Yeah, weird start. Weird vibes when it's just the three of us and Mikey. But we'll tough it out. You know,
Mike would have liked my coffee.
I'm good. We don't need to hear about that anymore.
just
I shouldn't
saying.
have asked. I'm so sorry.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm downgrading. I got the Timmy's today instead.
Oh wow. I
Saving
asked
money.
if you went on the Starbucks run.
I'm saving
He
money.
said
Yeah, I
you know
lied.
the vibes. He
I
lied.
I lied.
He lied.
I lied. That's fine. That's fine. All right. We've got a lot of content coming to you today. We've obviously, yes, like I said, we've got the Media Day stuff. First of all, we're going to be talking about Jrue Holiday. And then later on, we'll also be getting into some hot takes and bold predictions for this NBA season. Mike's not here, but he will be sharing them with us over text. We'll be revealing his hot takes throughout the episode. But yeah, let's get it started. We'll talk Jrue first.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So for those living under a rock, Jrue Holiday is officially a member of the Boston Celtics. He was acquired in a trade after he was shipped to Portland through the Damian Lillard trade. So yeah, he was acquired from Portland for Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon, as well as 2 first-round picks. One of them, the 2024 Golden State Warriors pick, and then another one, a late, I think 2030 or so. 2029 Celtics pick. Both unprotected. So these are actually no, sorry. The Warriors one is top 3 protected.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So pretty solid haul for the Portland Trailblazers, but I think the more important part here is that we have a very clearly established top 2 in the Eastern Conference. How good does this trade make the Boston Celtics?
I think on paper I would put them above the Bucks now. I agree I agree with a lot of people who said that the Celtics overpaid for Jrue Holiday, and I yeah, like they did it because they wanted that Lillard stopper, and they got the best one in the business. Like they had Marcus Smart a year ago. This is Marcus Smart, but much, much better. I get he doesn't have the chemistry that Marcus Smart had with the guys for like all the years he was on the team, and he will have to carve out his role on offense, especially. But this is the best playmaker they've had since Rondo. This makes them the best defensive backcourt since, I don't know, since Rondo and Tony Allen, I guess, like across the league.
Ooh,
Like Derek White and Drew Holiday were both all defensive guys. So I think that's an absolutely killer backcourt on both ends. Only if Drew Holiday's turnover problem comes down a bit, because that was a big issue for him, especially on the Bucks. But that was also because Chris Middleton was absent a lot of the times and he had the ball more in his hands. That shouldn't be the case with the Celtics, where they have Tatum, where they have Jalen Brown. So I think they'll be fine on that end. And yeah, on paper, I don't know how the Bucks will beat them. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know how the Bucks will beat them, if
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
honest. But I think it's still a big win for the Celtics either way. I think I consider the Celtics and the Bucks 1A and 1B right now. I can't really put one over the other until I actually watch them play, because on paper they're, to me, they look just as good as each other. And I think the bigger win here is that Drew won't even need to be the second or third scoring option on the Celtics, right? Because on the Bucks, we had, with Chris Middleton's, history of injuries, we've had Drew be the second or third option in scoring, and we've seen him fall short several times on the offensive side of the ball, especially in the playoffs. So with the Celtics, he doesn't have to. He's not. You don't have to rely on him to be scoring as much as he did in Milwaukee. So essentially, the Celtics getting another incredible defender, another incredible perimeter defender in replacement of Marcus Smart. Like, it's phenomenal for them, and I think this definitely puts them on par with the Bucks, because as we said last week, the Bucks were a little like a probably a tier above, or maybe a little bit higher than Boston, but now I put them on the same tier.
yeah, I think that like despite losing depth, I think that that's like really the big thing that Boston struggled. I mean, they struggled with it last year. They were running like a 7, 8 man rotation for a lot of the year. Even though they had signed Brogdon in the offseason. They had traded for Brogdon in the offseason, gotten another point guard. They still struggle with depth. Joe Mazzulla was basically running like 8 man rotations for a good chunk of the season, unless they were blowing teams out and putting in like a Luke Cornett. Now, like, you're really going to see this rotation tested. Like, it is tight. You're going to see a lot of Sam Hauser minutes probably, which is I like Sam Hauser. I think he's pretty solid. I think he's like a good 3-point shooter. I think that he's like a solid role player for this team. But you're going to be seeing him get like legit extended minutes because they just don't have backups at most positions right now. But you understand the necessity of making a deal like this, right? The need on this team for a while now, I mean, forever, for as long as like the Jays have been in Boston, has been the necessity of having like a table setting point guard, right? They've always kind of paired them with combo guards, whether it be Kemba Walker, Kyrie Irving, even Marcus Smart. Like, Marcus Smart's not a table setting guard. Like, this is a defense first. Like, he can shoot the three, but I've never really considered him as like the quarterback for the offense, right? He's never been the floor general. Jrue Holiday, like, he can be that for you, right? This is a guy whose assist numbers are solid. He's a great playmaker. He's a great point of attack defender. Like, yeah, his numbers went down in the playoffs, but I think that that's kind of just a product of him being asked to do too much on that Bucks team, right? Like Aaron kind of talked about, there were points in the year where Jrue Holiday was like the second option, where he really shouldn't have been. Like, he's not a second option player. This is a great third player on a team. He was just being asked to do too much. He's never been that type of guy that can really carry the load offensively, that can score 20, like 23 plus points a game. That's not what he's going to do for you. And he's not going to be asked to do that in Boston. He's going to be asked to set the table. He's going to be asked to play good defense. He's going to be asked to take the occasional shot and handle the ball and pick and roll. And that's all you really want from him. As long as he's setting up shots and creating shots for guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like, I mean, this team's disgusting. Like, it's absurd. Like, this is exactly what they've been needing. I thought that like they'd be a good place for someone like Chris Paul, right? Like a table setting point guard, a pass first guy, a guy that can create in the in the mid range, create shots for others. But Jrue's better than that right now, right?
Yeah, Jrue can defend.
Jrue can defend. He's an
Yeah.
incredible defender. He's an incredible point of attack defender. And like, this is already a team that we saw it 2 years ago in their finals run. Like, this was a defense first team under Ime Udoka. And though they changed their mode of operation last year because of just the utter mess that they had at head coach, we're going to see Joe Mazzulla hopefully take that step with an improved bench staff with him. We're going to see him hopefully take that step to be able to hold on to that defensive acumen that they had in their, like, during their finals run, right? And they were still a good defensive team even without Robert Williams for stretches of that run. Like, I mean, he tore his meniscus prior to the finals run, came back early to make sure that they could like get a good run out. They were still good even while he was out. So I don't think I'm like worried about losing someone like Robert Williams and how that's going to affect their defense. They got a great rim protector in KP. Al Horford off the bench, I think, is still a solid option. Like, he's getting old, obviously, but like his defensive acumen is still pretty solid. If you're looking at rim protection and rebounding, he can still stroke a three. And then you're getting Jrue Holiday. Like, if Joe Mazzulla can figure out how to turn this back into a defense, not a defense first team, but a solid defensive team, like, it's going to be gross. We're already looking at one of the most productive offenses in the league. If they can just turn it into a defensive stalwart like they were before, I think they'll be good.
Yeah.
I think that one of my issues with this team though is that we saw it in the playoffs a lot last year. Like, they lived and died by the three, right? This is their entire mode of operation. This is why they were such a productive regular season offense. It's just that they could hit the three. Like, they could play five out in a way that other teams just couldn't. And they were disgusting. And they've leaned heavier into that, getting guys like Kristaps Porzingis, getting guys like Jrue Holiday, who by all accounts is like a better 3-point shooter than Marcus Smart. So they're leaning more into it. And I think that could either be their death or like it's a double-edged sword with that, right? Like, if you're gonna lean more into the play style that got you burned at points during your play, like during the playoffs last year, hopefully, like, as long as you can do it more efficiently, hopefully you can just outshoot some teams at times. But yeah, like, at least you have like a safety blanket with Jrue Holiday's defense.
Yeah. Oh, and like you said, they went ahead and got two players who only help them to do that better, and I think that's why it's not as bad. Like, if they kept the same roster more or less and they still went with the same approach, that's when it's concerning. But when you do it with an improved roster, I feel they have a bit more room to improve and like work on where they got burned. And just another thing about the Celtics, like, their big man depth is just Al Horford and Kristaps right now, and I
Hey,
guess Luke
Cornette.
Cornett. I guess, yes. But
Thank goodness.
they still have a 6 million trade exemption from the Grant Williams trade. So if they want, they still have enough room to go and improve that depth. And I think that's why I believe that the Celtics are scary. Like, they are pretty good right now, and they have room to be even better. Like, the depth can be even better when they go and find that trade. Like, if it's a big man that they want, there's Nick Richards on on the Hornets, who's a solid. I guess he doesn't fit the whole three point shooting criteria here, but he's still a solid big man, and the Hornets are a mess. So that's a that's a good guy to just have on your roster. He was having somewhat of a resurgent year last year.
Yeah.
Then then again he fell off. But now that Kai Jones is not on the team anymore, maybe he gets an opportunity to shine.
He'll
I
be
don't
back.
know. That team's messed up.
He'll be back
To do what?
to posterize Wemby again.
I think we're good. That was his Super Bowl, man. That was the
Yeah.
best. They also signed Nemias Keita to a two-way. I don't think that that's necessarily serious.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm looking at their roster right now, and I forgot that Jordan Walsh is like pretty legit. Their rookie out of Arkansas, he had a really strong summer league, and I know it's summer league, so like who really knows? But like 16 points a game, 40% from three, and like this is like a 6'7" point guard, right? Like a point forward. This guy's, I don't know, he could be pretty nice. I think that there's enough like role playing depth pieces that I don't think I'm too worried about like the big questions surrounding their lack of depth after making a move like this. Like obviously these players aren't at the caliber of Robert Williams or Malcolm Brogdon, but like if you're getting that sort like the production that you kind of expect from that top four, um obviously barring injury concerns, which with KP is always a problem. Like if you're getting the production that you expect from that top four, then I don't think that it's going to matter too much like how many points Jordan Walsh gets you or like Nemias Keita gets you or like I don't know, freaking O'Shea Brissett, right? Like it's fine. And when it comes down to the playoffs, like you're running an 7-8 man rotation anyways. And
Yeah.
that 7-8 man rotation against the Bucks is, I think that it's gonna be a fireworks, man.
Yeah, I mean the Bucks have a similar problem with depth, to be honest. And in the playoffs, I don't think it's really going to be an issue either because again, they have like 6 really good guys on the floor who can be on the floor. So
7
that's
now
really all
with
the.
campaign.
Oh, no way! Forgot about that.
Yeah. I can't wait to see some more Thanasis minutes.
Yo.
He'll be great cheering
Yeah.
off the bench
Yeah.
as usual.
Yeah, I don't know. Like with the Bucks, like I don't know. Their depth too, obviously, is a point of concern. I think that like you're kind of hoping that someone like Marjon Beauchamp kind of takes that next step. Like he's a solid defensive player, and I think that with the offense and like the core that they have around him, all they're gonna ask Marjon to do is just like, buddy, just defend. Like we don't care how much you score. We don't care what you do on offense. Like if you can hang out on the perimeter, maybe hope that some guy spaces like tries to cover you. We get a little bit more spacing, like shit, whatever. We have the most unstoppable pick and roll in the league. But like if you can just get good defensive contributions out of a lot of these guys, and if guys are just buying into their roles on both of these squads, I don't think the depth is really going to be a concern when your top looks like that.
Yeah.
No, sir.
I forgot they have Jay Crowder too, actually.
Who?
Yeah.
Dude, he
What's
doesn't know
that,
what
what's that gonna do?
To be honest, I don't know why I'm here. Like
Yeah, he's not touching the, he's not touching the court. I'll tell you that.
him, bro. Come on. No, they've got some interesting rookies. I like what Andre Jackson Jr. brings. That's it.
You're on like the Drew Timmy
Good.
acquisition.
Did they get Drew Timmy?
Wait, I saw him in one of those Bucks videos.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge. Oh no, dude, they're winning. Bro, that's the white boy they needed. Come on, man. Gonzaga folk hero. It's over, bro. Drew Timmy. Oh, buddy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at that
Man.
stash.
I was waiting.
Man, I didn't even take in. I was looking at like the Milwaukee Bucks like basketball reference page, and he's not even there. No respect. They're rookies. They only got Yeah, all they have on like the team page is like Chris Livingston, Jay-Z and Gortman, and who the heck's Jay-Z and Gortman?
Okay, but I guess it's also because he signed an Exhibit 10 deal, not a two-way.
Okay. But yeah, okay. So top 2 in the East, it's not even a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Like best of 7. Who do you got?
Celtics in 7.
Damn, bro. Yeah,
Diego?
Celtics in 7. Celtics in 7.
I'll take Bucks in 7. I think that like that pick and roll is just too much, bro. Dame and Giannis is just it's too much. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know how you defend that.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah,
We haven't
that's a fair
seen it yet, so that's.
I don't need to, bro.
I don't think you need to see it though
I don't
to
need to.
know how disgusting it's gonna be.
Have you seen the
Like
way
it's a match. It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the way that like teams defend both of these guys? It's complete polar opposites. Like you can't like you need like 3 guys packing the paint to defend Giannis, and you need like at least like two guys like like pushing almost at like the half court line to defend Dame sometimes.
Yeah,
That's
and
why-
shit. You have Chris Middleton too, like waiting for and waiting in the corner for a 3.
Bro, you got Brooke
That's cash.
Lopez.
Brooke Lopez waiting in the other corner for a 3.
I don't know what you do against that
That's
that
cash.
pairing, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm going Bucks in 7.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm assuming Kristaps and Jrue are both gonna be healthy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's hard to not take the Celtics in that scenario.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Those guys.
I'm just too enthralled by the idea of what the Bucks can put out there with that pairing.
Yeah.
I'm happy
mean,
Dame's
either way,
not on the Raptors.
Any of those teams could win.
I'm happy Dame's not on the Raptors, man. It
Yo,
wouldn't be.
Raptors 3rd seed.
Don't say that. Don't.
Hey, it's all I'm saying is the 3rd seed is open.
It's not funny, bro.
The 3rd seed is open.
It's not funny. I don't like jokes like that.
It's not a joke. I'm saying the 3rd seed's
Nah,
open.
Don't try to make me laugh. I got no smiles left for this Toronto team. Okay, I'm good, man. I'm all right. Hey, I went off on it last week. I'm not
I would have
gonna.
smiled if they got Jrue.
No, thank you.
I would have smiled thinking about what you would think about it.
Thank God they didn't get Jrue. Like, at least okay. We talking Raptors now. We're good on Bucks
Yeah.
Celtics.
You're good,
Yeah.
Bucks Celtics, man. That's
Yeah.
as
So
straightforward as it gets.
yeah. So we did just kind of mention that like the 3rd seed in the East is open. So let's talk about like a couple teams at media day, or like let's talk about a couple teams that could hit that 3rd seed. It's kind of a mess in the Eastern Conference right now, but we'll talk about a couple teams that could be there, and how their media days went. Let's start off with, I mean, because Diego thinks that they can make the 3rd seed. I don't know why. I don't know. We got to get you out of Mississauga, bro. It's
You know the vibes.
it's infecting you, man.
You know the
You are
vibes.
lost in the sauce, bro. We'll talk about the Raptors first, I guess, eh? So they had a horrendous media day.
So
As
I've
someone that
heard.
was watching the entire thing, I've never been so shocked and appalled at just like how horrendous the messaging was around media day. On Monday, there was no clear delineation of where the team wanted to go. Everybody just seemed kind of messy, kind of seemed tired. Vibes were so off, just horrendous. Everyone kind of looked like they had beef. And then, like, I don't know, they didn't even post a single thing on social media, like, all day until media day was, like, already wrapped up. We're seeing, like, every single team, everyone's smiling and laughing. Like, even the Charlotte Hornets, man, they got, like, the Mr. Beast sponsorship. They're all
Good for them.
having a time. They're enjoying their time at media day. They're
Yeah.
all acting like buddies and stuff. And then we get the Raptors, not a single post. Complete radio silence from this team. The only content that we're getting is Dennis Schroeder leaking freaking the new jersey on his Instagram. Did you guys see that?
I saw
I
that.
didn't.
Yeah, he leaked. He
Is
leaked
it nice though?
he leaked the city jersey on his story.
Is it still up?
No, 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 no. Well, you can find it. It's like gold and black. It's like OVO,
It's
but it's a
ugly.
lot. It's really ugly.
Yeah.
Come on.
Thank you. Thanks for saying it for me.
Like you're using the black and gold OVO colors,
Yeah. They need to.
man.
It's like the gold was cool after we won the championship, like it made sense, but we kind of suck right now.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for this team to have gold. But yeah, so I guess let's get into like the messaging around the around Masai Ujiri and Pascal Siakam at media day. So when Masai Ujiri was asked about why there hasn't been progress in extension talks for Pascal, who is on an expiring contract this season. So someone asked them like, oh, like usually teams kind of build around their star, and like Pascal is probably one of the best stars that we've had since, I mean, the best star we've had since Kawhi. Like this is an All NBA player. Usually, when teams have an All NBA player, they'll build the team around him and like find a coach that complements that. And like make sure you keep him happy, make sure he stays there, and you don't lose him for nothing. But when Masai was asked about that, he didn't answer the question at all. Instead, he started saying like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I just," he said like, "Oh, I didn't really like the team the way I didn't really like the way the team played last year, that there was too much selfishness on the roster, that it just wasn't fun basketball." And he said that if that kind of sorts itself out throughout the year, then maybe we'll see. He wants to see how the team kind of gets away from that selfish style throughout the year. And to answer that question that way after you're asked about your star player, I think a lot of people kind of took that as him implying that Pascal was the problem on that roster, that he was the source of that selfishness on that roster. So
Do you
before
really think so, though?
what's that?
Do you think so?
Do I think Pascal was the source of selfishness?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
not at all.
exactly. I don't.
No.
I don't think anyone really thinks so.
Well, we'll get into that in a bit, but
Okay.
Scotty Barnes might seem to think so. Might be a little bit of beef there, but yeah, Pascal was
But
obviously not the source of selfishness on the
yeah,
Raptors
I
roster.
can't see it happening.
Like that is absurd. This guy was easily the best player on the team. Like we're talking about a forward that knows how to dish it out. Like, yeah, he is ball dominant. Like that's how he scores. That's how he creates. Like he's not a freaking, like he's not a catch and shoot guy. Like I'm not asking him to stand out on the perimeter and like score like that. Like he doesn't really score on the pick and roll either. Like this is a guy who has the ball in his hands. He's a point forward in a lot of ways, but he's good at creating out of the short roll. He's a good creator down low. He's a good creator when he's in the post. Like, I don't know if he's the source of selfishness on the Raptors roster. And Masai kind of implying that he is. Like, there's been a clear focus from Pascal that he wants to stay in the city, that he wants to stay a Raptor, that he loves it here. Like, there were reports that he doesn't intend to like sign a contract if he's traded to another team. The messaging has been clear that Pascal loves being a Raptor, but the messaging at media day from the team is like, we don't want you, like you're the problem. So I don't know, this team's a mess.
Yeah, and the fact that they're doing this already after a season where there was no extension offered to him, like by this time, there a player of Siakam's caliber never enters a season and is being expected to audition for that contract. That doesn't happen to all NBA guys. That happens to like lower level guys who are trying to carve out a roster spot, not for guys like Siakam. So you're already you're already on thin ice here with the player, risking a bad relationship here, and then to say this just makes it even worse. I get maybe the selfish comments emerge from the whole play style. Like Nick Nurse, the offense was a lot of iso ball, so I guess that prompted players to be selfish and play iso. But that was more of a Freddie problem than a Siakam problem, if we are actually
That's
looking
what I
at
was
it.
thinking. Were they not talking about Freddie instead of Pascal? Like
No,
I haven't seen any of the clips other than the Scotty one, but yeah, I felt like Freddie was more the source of the problem back last season than it was Pascal.
Um, I think that the impact that Fred had on the Raptors often gets like kind of understated. Like, yeah, he's had a lot of stinkers. Like that's selling it short. I think. Like he was horrendous at times. Like he cost the team games. Like that's just how it
I mean,
goes.
just
But
from efficiency wise, last season Freddie
yeah,
was awful.
but the necessity, like he was the table setter for that team. Like he's still a
Yeah,
great like shot creator. Like he creates shots for the team. It's just that the team has nobody that can make shots at all.
yeah.
Um, like I
Again,
don't think that.
both Fred and Pascal, like you could label them as selfish players at times when it comes to to their star level on the court because they take a lot of shots, especially for this Raptors team, for last year's Raptors team, where the other guys couldn't really produce as well offensively.
Yeah,
These guys would be the ones taking the most shots, and body language wise, you could see the frustration from the other players on the court, whether it was Fred or Pascal, you know, dribbling the clock out and then trying to score a bucket last second. So, yeah, I think I I do think there's how do I say this? I do think there's a way that both of them would be at a fault per se, but as for the root of the problem, I just can't imagine Pascal being the guy that they're all blaming. Like I don't really understand it.
yeah, it's just that it came after the question was asked about Siakam's extension, and that's when he said it. So you're it's natural to assume he kind of was also blaming Siakam. But as much as I blame like Siakam, Freddie, I also blame Nick Nurse, right? Like it's not like he gave
Yeah,
them an offense where the team was thriving. His offense was absolutely non-existent in that half court. So I blame him.
and also Nurse was. I mean, was it in the middle of the regular season where he already basically said he wanted out?
yeah, that
Or he
was near
wanted,
the end. It was in
Yeah.
Philadelphia
yeah,
too. Insane.
that's incredible. Like, how does a coach do that?
Yeah, before a game, like, what are you doing, dude? But yeah, like, just for some stats, like, Raptors scored 96 points per possession, per 100 possessions, in the half court, which ranks 26th in the league. But they were still like 11th in the league in offensive rating, mostly due to their full court. But like, you're asking a team without depth, um, with guys that are playing 37 minutes a game, like leading the league in minutes per game. You're asking them to create almost exclusively in the full court, right? In transition. They were incredible in transition. Like that's where they made their money. But you're asking guys to constantly run back and forth, wear and tear like completely on their bodies. Um, because like that's like I don't know. I'm attributing a lot of the problems to Masai, I think, at the end of the day. Like this is a horrendously built roster, right? Like that's where the like, dude, you didn't build a team that can play any other style other than like iso ball in the half court. Like there's no good connectors on this team. Like there's no guys other than Pascal and Fred that can create their own shots. Like yeah, Scotty Barnes is a good passer. Like you hope that he can become a point forward, but until he knows how to like shoot, like he can't be that guy for you. Like this isn't a team that was built in any way that can't be selfish, that can't like think about iso ball. Like the only way this team knows how to score through passing is in the full court, right? And like I don't know, man. It's bad basketball. It's bad team building. Um, like you're putting guys through the like through hell, making them run these minutes and making them run for like 37 minutes a game in full court in transition. Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
So I saw this
It's just
stat, okay, because people were criticizing Masai after media day. Somebody posted the stat. Since Masai became GM of the Raptors in 2013, the Raptors have had the best winning percentage in the league. In the East, sorry, and in the East, and second in the league.
behind the
I
Warriors.
get that. Like that's a phenomenal achievement that also came with a ring. But at the same time, that shouldn't make him immune to criticism for the absolute garbage rosters that have been assembled in the last few years post the championship run.
Yeah.
Like you just said, like that roster, there was I get I was blaming Nick Nurse, and it's not like he shouldn't be blamed, but at the same time, there's only so much a coach can also do with the personnel provided, right?
Yeah.
And like another thing that was concerning from media day was how wait I'll read the quote. He said if we do believe in these players, as the year goes on we will figure out which way we're looking to go. Like you saw how the team was doing the last couple of seasons, and you're yet to pick a direction, and you're waiting to see if they'll actually stink it up before you make a move. I don't get it.
Yeah. It feels like that's been their posturing for a while now, right? Like from when they decided to hold on to Kyle Lowry during the tank season, from last year at the trade deadline, buying instead of selling, to this off season, not actually going all in to turn yourselves into a contender. They've been towing the line for ages now, and it's completely killed them as a franchise. Like it's completely killing their team building. Like there's I don't know, it's continually directionless. There's still no kind of idea of where they want to go. It feels like they're holding on to that. Like yeah, it's incredible that they have that the Raptors have had the best record other than the Warriors, I assume, right?
Mm.
Over the last decade. Like that's you can't take that away from them. No question. That's an achievement and a half. But it's going to get real bad real fast because you're about to get middling season after middling season. You're going to look like the Indiana Pacers at the end of this unless you choose a direction. So, like, yeah, it's impressive, but it feels like they're just trying to hold on to that, right? Hold on to that fact that like they were the second best team over a decade, instead of actually trying to move forward and create a team that can be good for the next decade. So I don't know. I'm sick of it. And then there's like beef emerging. Diego, you mentioned the body language that we kind of saw between Fred and Siakam and like the younger players on the roster. We kind of saw that play out a little bit at media day too. Every single player was kind of asked about the selfishness comments, just because that turned into such a massive talking point throughout the day.
Yeah.
Pascal said, "Oh yeah, I've never been a selfish player in my life. Like ever since I've been like playing basketball, I've never been a selfish player," which is
Mhm.
true. And then Scotty Barnes also asked about the selfish comments. Did mention that like playing basketball last year with that team was draining, which I agree with wholeheartedly.
Even
Right?
watching
It
that team was
sucked.
draining.
I didn't even have to play. I had to watch it. I was tired, man. Like
Yeah.
I was I was slogged every single night watching that team. Like I wanted to watch the Western Conference games, but I was like, man, I'm out. I'm out. Like I just had to watch bad basketball for like 2.5 hours, and I have to watch more. I'm good. Um. So
Remember
yeah,
when
like
remember
Scotty.
when we watched the first game of the season last year, like against the Cavaliers?
Oh yeah,
That was a great that was a great game.
I was happy.
I was happy too. I thought the Raptors were gonna be decent.
I was like, oh, you know what? Like this,
Yeah.
this might be a playoff team. Like we just beat Donovan Mitchell,
Yeah, exactly.
cooked them, cooked Evan Mobley. Yo, we beat Scotty
It was
Barnes,
a great
beat the
game. Yeah.
allegations. But
Okay,
no,
speaking of Scott, no, no, man.
but yeah, I don't know. Like this, and Scotty, yeah, Scotty yesterday. Speaking of Scotty, um, he said that like yeah, like it was draining. He reiterated what Masai kind of thought around the basketball last year being too selfish. So I think that we're seeing a clear delineation between the young and the vets, right? And again, like, please pick a direction. Like, either stick with your vets and build around Siakam, or like actually focus on the youth on this team, because the two sides, clearly it doesn't seem as though they like each other. And Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam, they're not a good fit. They never have been. They operate in the same area. Like, they take away from each other's games instead of really complementing them. So please just pick a side. They're clearly, I think they're beefing a little bit. So come on, let's go.
And this was a topic of conversation even last year, especially leading up to the trade deadline, where there seemed to be like a sort of disconnect between the vets, like Pascal and Fred, and the younger guys like Gary and Scotty, obviously. And now it's being amplified even more, and it's literally like the first day of the season. So this is definitely a big issue that they have to fix right away. Otherwise, the vibes are not going to be good.
Yeah, they're already bad. It's
Yeah.
horrible. That was an awful media day.
Yeah.
Nothing to smile about, man.
Mhm.
Nothing. All right, let's move on to another team where there's absolutely nothing to smile about.
Philly?
Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh,
My
man.
God, dude. I thought the
Nah,
Raptors were
nah.
uncomfortable.
That's
Holy.
insane. So Harden finally decided that he'd attend training camp only for the sole reason to make things uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's insane. This guy never ceases to amaze me with what he does whenever he wants out of a team.
No one like him, dude. He's creative.
Yeah.
Like, he's smart about it, Like, look, he's gonna get fined for not showing up to media day. Like, that's just how that goes. Hilarious that it was brought up at media day. Like, Daryl Morey was like, "Yep, he's gonna get fined the same way anybody else in the CBA does." Hilarious, good stuff. Thanks, Morey. But yeah, now he's at camp. He's making it uncomfortable for the entire organization to, I guess, maybe lower his trade value. It is hilarious what's happening with that team.
He's coming through with a fat suit. That's what's gonna happen.
Yo, it's gonna be more than a fat suit, bro. He's at the club in Houston, got people holding up Daryl Morey is a liar signs, bro. Like, oh my goodness.
That relationship is not fixable at this point.
Yeah.
There's no way. And I saw Maury saying something about, he likes Harden as a person, but he's set on finding a trade for him. At least now he's set on finding a trade for him. But
Yeah.
again, the way Harden has been acting, I don't know if teams really see him as a hot commodity right now,
I mean, like, this has been Harden, right? Every
Yeah.
single situation he's been in, he's made it worse near the end of it. I'm sorry. Like, that's just who he is. He's crappy. Like, there's two certainties in life. Sorry, four, I guess. Death, taxes, Harden being garbage in the playoffs, and then Harden forcing his way out in the craziest way imaginable.
Yeah.
So this is nothing new, right? This is just James Harden. And I think that, like, whatever team does end up making a move for him, like, you know what's happening. You know what's, like, what you're getting yourself into. It's like Kyrie, bro. You know what you're getting yourself into. But you do it because he's a great player. And I could still see the Clippers kind of doing it. Like, that has been his preferred destination. Obviously, Brooklyn and Philadelphia were both his preferred destinations at certain points, but yeah.
Oh man.
I think that, like, this absolutely does lower his trade value, right? Like, Harden doesn't have any leverage. Let's get that out of the way. He shouldn't have opted into his player option. That was, I don't know what his agent was thinking there.
I mean, to
Like,
be fair, when you're promised money, like verbally, like that's in the NBA, I feel like that's something that that you stick with.
Yeah.
And I understand Maury and the rest of the front office for deciding not to pay him because of how Harden performed, especially in the elimination game in playoffs. Like it was just awful. They went out sad. So I understand it, but again, I also to an extent understand why Harden's frustrated with it. I don't agree with his actions, obviously, but I understand the frustrations.
Yeah, and it's also not the like you have to also consider that he did this with Daryl Morey, who absolutely was a fanboy back in Houston, right? So it's not like it was a new GM for him. This is a guy he's known. This is a guy who's absolutely loved him in the past. So I don't, I, I understand to an extent why he did that, but then like you're aging, you're not as good as you were. You have to also consider that. So you can't just handshake agreement your way to a max contract anymore.
Yeah. Like you're not that guy, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, after you put up like how many points was it? Freaking 9 points in an elimination game? You're not getting that contract. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think if he does end up on a team like the Clippers where he's just asked to like play a role as like the third guy, sorry Russ. I think it'd be reasonable, but yeah, like I don't see the trade package for Philadelphia. Like they're not getting out of this with anything good.
And the Clippers would have to lose a lot of depth in order to get Harden as well.
That's fine.
So one of the mock trades I saw was basically Norman Powell and Marcus Morris, like with picks for Harden.
Yeah.
And you don't lose too much depth. You basically lose one guy from your actual rotation,
guy
and
who makes your
it's a
team
one-on-one.
worse.
It's a one-for-one trade.
Yeah,
Hey, Norman Powell could be an all-star. Okay. This is his year.
I love Norman Powell.
Storm and Norman. Okay.
And yeah, the Clippers got to get rid of Morris
Yeah,
some
well,
way somehow.
Oh, he's
done.
gone.
It's over.
He's
The
gone.
Clippers haven't posted anything
Did y'all see the
Russ
about
thing?
him.
Did y'all see the Russ
Yeah.
dinner thing?
What was the Russ dinner thing?
Everybody on the roster attended the
Except Morris.
dinner hosted by Russ, except for two guys who were not in the country, Zubac and Batum, and Marcus Morris for no reason in particular.
Marcus Morris, man.
Oh, he's gone. There
He's
you go.
done, bro. It's over for him.
Thank goodness.
That guy sucks anyways. We're good. We don't need
Ty
you.
Lue's gonna be mad.
Oh no, not Marcus.
His best friend.
I think they'll be fine.
But
Yeah, if that's the trade package, then yeah, I think Clippers should absolutely go for it.
yeah,
I don't know
Philly
if
shouldn't.
I don't know if
the
Philly
Sixers
wants
do.
to, but
Yeah.
I think they're definitely gonna look to get more.
I don't see a way that Embiid is on this roster in like the next year and a half.
No, sir.
There's no
Yeah,
way he
that's
doesn't
what-
ask out.
It's just
See, I think Embiid being on the roster is what is giving Harden leverage right now. Because when you have a guy like Embiid, you cannot let your second best player just be like in the air right now about his spot on the team. If your second best player with an Embiid, with a guy like Embiid on your team isn't on the roster on day one, then you have to do something
Yeah.
about it. And see, this is where I'm curious to see what Harden does. Like you said, he's always been creative. So I saw this stat, okay? Like when he wanted to leave Houston, in his first 3 games, he averaged 37, 5, and 11 on good efficiency. The first 3 games. After that, till he got traded to Brooklyn, he was averaging 17, 5, and 10 on 37% shooting. And then his first 2 games in Brooklyn, he had a 32-point triple double and a 34, 6, and 12 back-to-back games for Brooklyn. That's how Harden has
Yeah.
been. So I want to see what he does this time with Philly.
Bro, he ain't suiting up.
yeah, he
Like,
said
he's gonna be putting
said
up
he's
0,
not
0,
gonna
0.
play for the
Like
team again.
he's not playing. He's not like
I
will
hope
not see him in a Philadelphia 76ers uniform. Like this is
Specifically because he said he's not gonna do it.
yeah, like he's never explicitly
Yeah.
held out. Like this time, bro, he's holding out. it's not happening. He's not suiting up.
You don't think he for the tip off he gets the ball, takes a 8 second half court violation, looks and points at Morey.
That would be pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
No, man, I need to see him
You know,
post.
if
I need to see him
one thing is Harden is petty,
yeah.
right? So if I could see a world where he actually does do some shit like that.
I think my favorite would be like, so you remember in like the playoffs last year, he had a dunk, and it was like his first dunk in like 2 years almost, or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
It had been a while
Mhm.
since he like threw it down on someone. I'd love to see him do that. Just like come into the game one time, dunk on someone's head, and then like Aaron, Kaka? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like pull up your shirt. How like how Kaka said like I belong to Jesus. Just say like I belong to Daryl Morey, some shit like that.
Oh my god.
I belong to LA Clippers.
Oh
then,
yeah,
right? Since he wants to be there so bad.
that'd be huge. That'd be great. And then see him get like ejected for that. Yeah, that'd be sweet. There's a lot of ways he could go about it. I think that we're only starting this Harden saga. Like this is the beginning. We're about to see some shenanigans at training camp. I hope that like ESPN's got some reporters and cameras on the ground at Philly training camp because I need to see it all.
Yeah.
I need to see it all. All right, one last
Yeah,
media
yeah.
day thing. We'll rush through this quickly, but Jimmy Butler, man, how we feeling about the hair?
I'm in love with it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think he's hilarious. I tweeted this out. I think that like this was honestly such a genius play because like look, there were three teams that really missed out in the Dame sweepstakes, right? So Philly, Miami, and Toronto. The
Yeah.
vibes in two of those places were absolute dog shit. Horrendous. Like I wouldn't want to be anywhere near there. Like I'm a reporter. I don't want to be near there, bro. I'm good. I don't have that in me. Like that's just I'm
Mm.
getting secondhand embarrassment thinking about it because it was a mess in both those places. But in Miami, it was perfect. It was all smiles all day. Like you're not gonna get any videos of like Pascal Siakam crying, laughing, standing beside like Scotty Barnes, but instead you got like Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, who's been in trade talks all summer long, and Jimmy Butler just dying, laughing, taking
Yeah.
their pictures.
And Jimmy Butler stayed in character for the entirety of media day.
Like
it's so great.
It's incredible. Like like he got asked those questions throughout the day, like, oh, like, no Damian Lillard, how you guys feeling, that type of stuff. Like obviously it was talked about that they didn't necessarily like, I mean, they completely and utterly did not improve this offseason. But that was secondary. It was completely and utterly secondary to just his performance.
Yep.
It's genius, I think. I think that was one of the smartest things I've seen a player do. Like, he's a complete and utter lightning rod. He steered attention away from everything. And he made it about him. Like, he made it about just, like, his stupid little hair. His incredible hairstyle. I love it. I really love what he did on Monday.
Facts. I could not agree more.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious what he did. Like the vibe, yeah, as you said, the vibes in Miami were really good considering their off season, which was awful, by the way. And even like Harrell, his obviously he got interviewed, asked about like the rumors about being traded to Portland and stuff. Harrell just seems motivated. Like he has no bad blood towards the whole situation. He has no bad blood towards Miami, the franchise, nothing like that. He's motivated. He's just disappointed in a way. Seems disappointed in a way that Portland passed on him, which I don't blame them for because they're so guard loaded right now with the young guards. So I get it, but yeah, he just seems motivated to come into the next season and ball out.
Ball out, boy.
Ball out, boy. Jimmy Butler.
Honestly, I'm glad that the hairstyle's gone. Like I saw in practice it's gone. Thank
Obviously.
goodness. But it was a good way to deflect. I
Yeah.
agree. He did that well. And like also just coming back to the Tyler Hero comments. See, when it's a team like Miami a front office with a front office like that, with a coaching staff like that, that's when players don't take offense to being shopped around, being dangled like that. But when it's the Raptors who are who don't have a good coaching, well,
Not a
don't
proven
not
coach.
reputed, yes, not proven, and when it's a situation like that, that's when players will be
Yeah.
offended. Miami, Tyler Hero knows if he doesn't do well, they'll get a
Yeah. With
better guy.
Miami, it's
That's
expected.
not the case in
Yeah.
yeah.
100%. Like that. Sorry, go
So
ahead.
yeah, no, just like so props to Tyler Hero for taking it on the chin and for like being
Yeah.
motivated. So
Dude, like it's a business. And I think like if you're on Miami, you understand that better than kind of any other place.
That's why
Like
I like
that.
Tyler Hero's responses. Like
Yeah.
he was so professional about the whole thing.
Yeah, like I think that there's really like two teams or like two organizations where it's like you better not expect loyalty. You better expect to win. And that's like the Lakers and the Heat, right? Like there's a clear delineation towards like you are here for now, but we might use you in a trade to get a superstar. Like that's just how that goes. That's just how the NBA works. And like, yeah, again, for sure, good for Tyler Hero for taking that on the chin. Good for him for understanding that. But before we move on to our hot takes, I just want to. What's our favorite Jimmy Butler nickname? I'm gonna go through a list of them. So, shout out J.E. Skeets from the No Dunks podcast for coming up with a few of them. These are some bangers. So
Yeah.
we've got Ball Out Boy. Aaron, you'll like this one. 22 Pilots.
ooh,
24 Seconds to
Nice.
Mars. Death Cab for Coffee. Jimmy Eat World. Perfect.
Jimmy Eat World is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm so happy about it. And then if you guys remember Big Face Coffee, obviously, so there's 3 days Big Face. That's yeah,
Love Big Face Coffee.
some really incredible stuff coming out of the Heat Media Day.
I love Jimmy, man. I'm excited to see what he does for next year's media day now.
I don't know how you one up it.
He should make this a yearly tradition though. Like he did it last year already.
Dude, I cannot wait. I have him in the Dynasty League. I'm so happy I have him. Because now I get
So
to
you
see
can see that photo
headshot. I get to see
every
that
day.
headshot. I'm so excited, bro.
I'm jealous.
Like I thought I was gonna trade Jimmy this season. I can't now, bro. There's too many good like
Fair.
potential team
Trade,
names.
trade him to me.
I'm good. You gonna give me Shea?
I'll give you OG.
I'm good. I'm okay. I'm all right. Thanks, boss. All right. Let's take a quick break just to split up the episode here. Let's take a quick break and then we'll get into some hot takes. All right, and we are back. Let's do it. So we had a schedule like that we kind of wanted to get through before the season started. You know, we all of our predictions. We have to do it, of course. Like we did last year. We had our hot takes. We already got through our coaching hot seat tier list. So you know, coming weeks we'll have all the other prediction ones. But right now, let's get the hottest ones off the docket first. Let's get the stupidest takes we could possibly get out of our system before we actually start analyzing the upcoming NBA season. It's hot take and bold prediction time, boys.
Like how you said stupidest ones first.
Come
Knowing
on,
full
man.
well we put down some stupid shit.
We put down some dumb ones, man.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
we
yeah. You two.
I know I
What
did.
were your hot takes last year, Aaron?
I actually
I
don't
don't
even
remember mine
remember.
either.
No, I remember you had Russ was going to be a defensive stopper.
Hey, it was true in the playoffs.
What playoff?
That's all I'm saying. It's
For
true in
what?
the first
For
round.
what?
Okay, sample size of 3 is
Yeah.
not the
To be
biggest.
for real,
Yeah.
It's
man.
not the biggest, but it's serious. It's still serious. Let me ride with my boy, man.
What are you writing? What do you mean with? You
Let me
can get
ride
rid
with
of with,
my boy.
bro.
I did-
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
good start. Okay, who wants to go first? Who wants to give out their first hot take?
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
I'll go
Alright.
first. Okay. So a hot take from the desert itself. The Suns are going to be a first round exit, unfortunately. Uh they've they've gone all out to build this big three of theirs with all the offensive firepower, similar to what KD had in Brooklyn. Unfortunately, unlike that Brooklyn situation, they have no defense this time. That Brooklyn team still had Bruce Brown, Nick Claxton. Jeff Green was a serviceable defender too. Now they have Grayson Allen, and that's it.
Hey.
So if you're expecting year 17 KD to be your defensive anchor, you're asking to be cooked. So I think that's why this team is not going beyond the first round. Like they'll excel in the regular season with that team, no question. But in the playoffs, that's where your defense matters. So with this roster, they're not going beyond. I'm
I don't
sorry.
know. First round is it's kind of crazy. You're right. That is a pretty insane take. Second round, I see it. First round, I can't see it because KD and Book and Beal are just gonna win you games, and in the playoffs, they could easily win you 4 games in the first round.
I think it depends on the matchup. I think that they get slaughtered in the
Exactly.
front court. I think that Nurkic trade was horrible, right? Like that made their team worse. I don't care who you got in return.
From,
Like
from a
Grayson.
talent perspective, yeah, they got worse for sure. But when the Andre Ayton is like checked out of the team, I don't see why trading him was a bad move.
Bro, Nurk is gonna be checked out because Bum's gonna be injured or he's gonna get played off the court by literally every single other big in the league because he's one of the worst in the league. He's
Yeah, but Ayton,
horrible.
Ayton wasn't gonna do anything for them either.
He's gonna at least get you like a freaking double-double. That's what he does. At least he's like a guaranteed double-double. If Nurk scores more than 12 points, bro, I'll be shocked. That guy sucks. He's one of the biggest defensive liabilities in the league. We haven't seen him be good in 3 years. That guy's horrible, man. Like, and Grayson Allen in the playoffs? No, thank you. No, thank you. Bro, they've got like 4 guys they can use in the playoffs. The rest of this team is dog. Like, I'm Aaron, I'm with you, bro. I do not trust this team, and I
Yeah,
think depending on where they land in the regular season, I don't think that, they'll score in the regular season, but do I think they'll be like a top 3 seed in the West? Nah.
No, West is stacked.
West is stacked. I think that like they could end up in the
yeah,
4-5 matchup, and there's a lot of decent big men that they could go up against at the 4-5. Like, I'm not confident. I'm really not.
exactly. So like if like where they have Sabonis, the only double double you can expect from Nurkic is when he's going to be serving coffee 4 years later at Tim Hortons.
That was
Yeah,
a
Mordens.
That was a banger. I can't. I can't lie. That was so good. All right. Yeah,
Oh,
man. No,
man.
I'm with you, Aaron. I'm with you, bro.
Uh,
I'm
Thank you.
riding with you there.
I'm not.
Okay. All right,
I'm not
Diego,
losing in
what
the
you
first
got?
round.
What you got, man?
I got Kawhi and Paul George not missing a single game in the playoffs next season.
What if they don't make it? Does that
They're
count?
they're making the playoffs.
Okay.
Kawhi and Paul George aren't missing a game, and hence why I'm also gonna say that the Clippers are gonna make the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history.
Woo. Okay.
But they're gonna lose to the Bucks or the Celtics.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I dig that. That's actually that's a good one, man. Damn. I don't know. What's more likely, AD playing all 82 or Kawhi and Paul George
I
collectively
don't know.
playing every single
They're
playoff
both probably not happening.
Listen, with the depth that the Lakers have, I think AD is more likely to play 82 games than Kawhi
What's he
and
Wait, what,
talking
PG.
about?
what would that mean? What are you talking about?
What's he talking about, bro?
How is that more likely?
What
If
you?
the Lakers are so deep, then they will probably be fine with AD sitting out games more often.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, if the reason why he used to get injured is because he had to play that hard, whatever, throughout the regular season, which he doesn't have to because we have defensive stopper Christian Wood now.
Okay. This isn't about AD.
Yeah, it's just,
Did he just call Christian Wood a
Okay, yes.
defensive stopper? Nah, bro. You don't. It's not your turn. It's Diego's turn. Okay. Relax.
this guy came out with a hot take of his
Colin
own.
Russ a defensive stopper and Colin Wood one are two
No,
different things.
I'm
Thank
joking.
you.
I'm joking.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, when Kawhi has gotten to the playoffs, like he didn't sit out, right? Like he plays.
Yeah.
He like if he gets to the postseason, like it doesn't matter that he's like hurt. We saw it during the championship run in Toronto. Like he was hurt the whole time, but he
Yeah.
still played every single game. Like you saw, like after that iconic dunk that he threw down in Game 6 of the series against the Bucks, like right at the end to like really punctuate the big Raptors comeback. Like he was limping after. He was limping the entire playoffs. So I think that like if they get there and like if they're legitimately contending, I think it'll be hard to keep either of them out unless it's like a serious injury, which we hope doesn't happen, of course.
If Kawhi can play, I think he's gonna play.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like I'm not questioning either of their desires to win, right? Like I think that Paul George and Kawhi, like once you actually put them in a situation to win, like you can't keep them out. Like they'll want it every
And
single time.
their window is also closing.
Yeah.
Like this is probably their last year together.
Yeah.
Like both Kawhi and PG together. This is their last year together, probably.
Mhm.
So they're gonna be even more motivated this year than they were before.
Cool. All right, my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
So my first hot take, shout out my Sacramento Kings, man. I love that team. So I think that Keegan Murray turns into a 20-point per game scorer, and the Kings have the best big three in the West.
That's
Ooh.
spicy. I'm gonna lie. That's
Like
crazy.
I don't really see a better big three necessarily if Keegan Murray really starts to take off. We saw what he did. Like obviously it's summer league, but there's tints of what a player is becoming through things like that, right? Like he started to create his own shot more. His pull up was a lot better. Like he was more comfortable with the ball in his hands. He wasn't just a catch and shoot threat. And obviously, like, yeah, it's summer league, it's against lesser competition, but there was a real focus for him towards creating his own shot. And that's what he struggled with. Like he wasn't a self shot creator at Iowa. Like he was the primary option, but getting drafted, like no one expected him to become a shot creator for himself. But that's what it looks like his focus has been this season. And I think that like if they get him to become like a legitimately good scoring wing, like he was only scoring like 12 points a game last year, but there was clear evidence throughout the playoff run against the Warriors that he could be a lot more. I think that if they get him becoming that guy, I don't see a better big three in the West. I think that like AR, like on the Lakers, like that, yeah, it's a nice, I guess it's a nice big three. Obviously LeBron and AD being part of that big three is always going to be freaky, but De'Aaron Fox looks like a monster. He had his best season. He had the best season of his career, and I think that he's absolutely ready for like superstardom. Sabonis, I think that we're going to need to see like a little bit more from him. You hope that what happened in the playoffs last year against the Warriors doesn't happen again, doesn't get figured out like that. But I mean, he's a great regular season player. If you get those two clicking the way that they did last year, and you get Keegan Murray there becoming like a legitimate scoring wing, I think that sky's the limit for this Kings team.
Okay, I like that take.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's spicy. I'll tell you
The
that.
Keegan Murray thing is spicy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
The Kings being really good, I am absolutely expecting that, and I completely agree with you. Keegan Murray averaging 20.
20.
I don't know, bro. 20?
See, I can see a world where he's averaging 20 per game, but I don't
Not
know
on
if
this Kings team, man.
no, no, no. Like next season, I will take it. Like I will believe it. That also means that Malik Monk has a reduced role, which is kind of tough to see, but I think that's more realistic than any big three outperforming in like a trio involving LeBron and AD. I'm
I mean,
sorry.
if they play enough. Oh, sorry, I forgot AD's playing all 82 games.
Exactly.
I just think that there's more like consistency across the board with this potential Kings big three, right? And like, I mean, we saw them have like historically one of the most productive offenses the NBA has ever seen, right? And that was with Keegan Murray only scoring 12 points a game. I think that like if he does take off, which like straight up I just expect him to, like he was a great regular season player. I mean, he was shooting 45% from the field, 41% from three. And that was really mostly just on catch and shoot opportunities. Like if he's implementing a pull-up aspect to his game, like off the bounce, I don't know. I see it. I really do see it for this Kings team.
I mean, I'd be more than happy to see it. Yeah.
Same. I love Keegan Murray.
That's my guy.
Yeah, you can't not root
Yeah,
for those guys.
All right. Mike's hot take. His first
Yeah.
one, Lakers first seed in the West.
It's not even hot.
It's not. What's he doing, bro?
Take, bro.
Who's he fooling? Who's he fooling, bro?
Yeah, like I
Oh,
appreciate
man.
that he's showing my Lakers some love, but like that's not,
LeBron, I'm back.
that's happening.
He just loves LeBron, man.
Who doesn't?
It's not a
Yeah.
hot take, bro.
I'm starting to think he's he's the biggest LeBron fan out
He's
of
just
the four of
Filipino.
us.
He just might be. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
He's just Filipino, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, there's
So
nothing much to say about that one.
I'm
like-
with it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Kings first seed. But
Not Clippers first seed.
I'm good. The West is a dogfight, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't see any team like really straying away, like moving ahead of the pack that notably, right? Like I think that Denver lost Bruce Brown. Like I think that they didn't get better this offseason, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Phoenix,
definitely
I still have my reservations about, obviously. The Lakers did get better. But asking them to be better in the regular season, like I don't think that that's necessarily like a big, like that's not really what they've been. I don't think the Lakers are a regular season team. That's just not who they are. Right? And like you're looking in the West where there's some serious regular season teams. The Kings being one of them, right? The Grizzlies, I think, aren't going to be like a 2 seed, obviously with like the Ja Morant injury, but like the Phoenix Suns, obviously they're going to be a nice regular season team probably. Warriors look like they're maybe back. I don't know.
Okay, see.
Can I use that to
Yeah, you can
segue
use
into
that
my
to
second
segue
hot
into your
take?
point.
Oklahoma City will not make the playoffs.
Come on, man.
They're going to be another. It's going to be another plain exit for them, because when you look at the standings right now, I cannot see a team that they're going to displace. I've seen some people talk about how maybe the Warriors potentially are going to be the team that gets eclipsed. I think the Pelicans are still better on paper as a roster than the Oklahoma City Thunder. So they are going to be like the 9th seed, whatever at best, maybe even the 8th in the regular season. Won't make the playoffs once again. Maybe the year after, sure, but yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, the
I
West
could
is
see
just
them.
so stacked.
West is super stacked. I don't see them really missing the playoffs unless they make the play in and then get bounced in the play in. But I could also see them being a top 5 or 6 seed.
Is it a
I think
failure?
I think a big reason for that is because of Chet. I
Yeah,
think
of
Chet's gonna
course.
be huge for this team.
Yeah, but like they're still so young. Diego, is it a failure if they don't make the playoffs?
No, it's not. It's not a failure.
Really?
Okay, so
Yeah,
te-
this
How many
this
years
year
would it not be a
they
failure?
don't have to they don't have to make the playoffs this year. We talked what team was it that we talked about this like last week? And not last week, 2 weeks ago?
The Pacers?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of like the Pacers. I
the
don't see it as
Thunder.
a
The
loss.
Thunder are better than the Pacers.
Absolutely. But again, they're in the Western Conference. The odds are, I guess, just as much as the Pacers making the playoffs in the Eastern
But like,
Conference.
isn't that just a sign of them not taking the leap, not making the next step?
It's because they're so young that I don't see the need for them to win now. And it's not like they're gonna win. It's not like they're gonna make the Western Conference Finals or the finals.
see, when make the All NBA first team in a season, there is no way him finishing out of the playoffs race is not a failure.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
have
but
an
I'm,
All
I'm
NBA
looking at it
first team
with the
player, you
bigger
have to make the
context,
playoffs.
knowing how stacked the West is. I think this is a different kind of situation.
So what?
People,
Yeah.
Dude, like being all NBA first team means that you're one of the top 5 or 6 because Jokic was second team. You're one of the top 5 or 6 players in the NBA. Like, I think that it gets to a point where you look at that and like you look at the rest of the core, despite it being young, like they clearly work well together. You look at that and you say to yourself, like, dude, you have to take your team to the playoffs.
yeah. And again, I think they will make the playoffs. Like I am absolutely sure they'll make the playoffs.
But it's a failure if they don't.
And okay, can I
World
butt
where
in
they
once again? Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
I won't blame Shea or like 2K generated Mike Dagno for not making the playoffs as much as I'd blame Sam Presti for not actually doing anything with the roster. Like you're banking on your top pick to come back, sure, that's great. But that can't be your only play after your main guy gets an all NBA first team appearance. So I think they're going to miss out because there was no moves. Like, okay, you
I
guys,
think,
if you guys think that they are going to make the playoffs, which team from last season are they going to displace then? Tell me that.
yeah, Pelicans. They're
T-Wolves.
Pelicans
they're
weren't in the
big.
playoffs.
T-Wolves. T-Wolves?
Uh,
Yeah,
the
well,
guy who, with Anthony Edwards, who you have in your like MVP.
Hey, I didn't say it. Did I say that this year?
You
Okay,
said
well, I
that.
said it. I said it in the FIBA thing. Hey! This isn't the awards prediction show. Okay, relax.
we have that coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry, man.
Yeah, I think they're definitely better than Timberwolves.
Uh,
Uh, Warriors.
It's
It's hard to say.
no,
It's hard
it's a
to say.
good question. Like I think that the Grizzlies take a serious step back, right? Like they're definitely not hitting the 2 seed. I think that they're going to be like those 25 games are going to be ugly, and like even with Jaw back, like I'm still skeptical about this team. Um, I think that like they have a better core in place, like a better core that's ready to contend. But I'm not sold on the Grizzlies. I think that they go down from like 2 to like the play-in. Um, the Warriors, I'm bullish on. Like I'm not.
see, uh, okay, I agree. The Warriors aren't the most convincing team, but can you tell me that you're not convinced that they'll be a good regular season team?
I'm not convinced.
Depends on the injuries, I think. And like at least with Oklahoma, you're getting young guys. I mean, like yeah, like Chet might be injury prone. Who the hell knows? But like I don't know. It's we'll
I don't
we'll,
know.
we'll do the Western
I
Conference
also see
prediction
Giddy
ones,
and
but
J-Dub making another big leap this year.
I'm pretty sold on the Thunder making it into the playoffs. I think that they surprise teams. You know, like I think that they come out like guns blazing. I think that they're going to be like the shocker of the year. That's just where I stand on them right now. And I think that it's a failure if they don't.
Yeah. Like again, what similar
I
to what
also
I
think
said about the Kings, I am more than happy to see them make the jump. That's
Yeah.
that's a really likable group of guys they've got there. Like you've got a Canadian superstar there. What's not to root for? So I'm more than happy to see it. Am I expecting to see it is what's doubtful at the moment. That's all I'll say.
expect to see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, Presti does need to make a move. Though, you're right.
Yeah,
Like
let me
with
piggyback off
the
that.
massive haul of picks that he has,
Yeah.
that he's accumulated, he has to do something. He has to pair Shea along with
Here.
another star.
Here, how about this one? How about Brandon Ingram?
Oh my god.
How do you like that pairing? I think the Pelicans, it's over, bro. I think they blow it up this year. I think like it's time. We've seen it. We've seen it run its course. Unlike the Thunder, right? They're a lot more expected to be able to contend now. Mostly because one of their guys is just like you don't know how long he's even going to be in the league. Just completely unhealthy Zion. Unfortunately, I think that this is the year that it happens. I think that the Pelicans are done. Right? I think that they've tried for long enough. I think it's time to just blow it up.
Is this your hot take?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think the Pelicans blow it up, and I think
Yeah.
that we see Ingram in a different jersey by the end of the year. And I think that could be Oklahoma. I think that could be New York. Those are like the two spots that I really expect to be heavy, or like I guess Miami as well. But more on Miami in a bit because Mike's next hot take. But yeah, I think that we won't see Zion or Ingram in the same jersey by the end of the year. And like I don't think that the Pelicans would want to trade one of those guys in division to Oklahoma. Actually, wait, is Oklahoma's in a different division. But yeah, I don't think they'd want to trade them in conference. That might be kind of sketchy, but like Oklahoma should be one of the
But
teams
they
that are
have
all in.
they have
the
the
assets.
best possible packages.
They have the assets, and like they have guys like Lou Dort that are completely expendable. Like they've got the contracts to make it happen. So yeah, I think that Oklahoma is like one of those teams that are really all in on acquiring a superstar to pair with a promising core. And I think that the Pelicans completely just blow it up. I think it's over.
I don't see how you could put the Pelicans over the Thunder next season. Because
Yeah, I think it's over, man. Like I think that
Zion still going through injury concerns every single season.
I don't trust it. CJ McCollum
Yeah.
looks worse than ever. Like
He's not
JV,
getting younger either.
I don't know why JV's on that roster. Like the roster construction's kind of just been messy. Like he just doesn't fit there. Like he's a good screen setter, but he's a ball dominant big. And like you're pairing that with ball dominant Ingram, Zion, and CJ, like it just doesn't work. I think they blow it up, and I think that they like refocus on like acquiring draft picks to pair with guys like Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. Yeah, I think it's messy in New Orleans, and I think that this is the last year.
Okay. I like that. I want to see that happen. Like
You
Right
want
on their downfall.
yeah, like it's see sometimes when you like I appreciate them trying like these last couple of years, like even with the Lonzo thing, like I wanted to see it happen, right? Like former Lakers guys, yes, but it's it's time to call it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. They gave it the good college try, and that's that.
Yeah.
All right. Mike's. So Joel Embiid becomes a Miami Heat player at some point this season.
Oh, Mike, man.
He's him.
This season?
This season, he says.
Oh my God.
So obviously that would mean that
Just that awful.
Pat Riley just played
trade
the
him?
long game, eh? They never wanted Dame anyways. They're waiting for Joel to pair with Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler.
What a lineup, man.
That'd be crazy.
What a trio.
Yeah.
How we feel about that, guys?
realistically, I don't think the Sixers are going to be awful. I think Tyrese Maxey takes a big step because Harden's not going to be there, and also the supporting cast. Embiid's going to have another great year. Supporting cast is going to step up because of Harden not being there. So I don't think the Sixers going to be as bad. So I'm not expecting Embiid to get traded mid season. Like I could see him going to Miami as a free agent eventually, but I don't see it happening this year at all.
Yeah. I think he asks out after the year. Like I think that I disagree. I think Philly's gonna suck. I'm also projecting. Like I want them to be bad. But yeah, I don't know, man. You're putting the coach that ran players into the ground with an injury prone player and Embiid. Like I don't know. I don't know if that's a recipe for success. And then without like a legitimate ball handling, table setting point guard like Harden, I mean, have fun. What's your backcourt going to be? D'Anthony Melton and Tyrese Maxey? I'm good. Tyrese Maxey is one of the best off-ball players in the league, right? Like his speed is incredible. He's a great cutter, and he worked well with Harden. Like he works well when someone else has the ball in their hands, and I just don't like. There's no one there for that unless like Embiid is that guy. But Embiid's not a playmaking big. Like he's not Jokic. That's not happening. I think the Sixers suck, but I don't think that there's like any world where he gets traded midseason.
especially to the Heat.
No chance.
Like
No chance.
like if he gets traded, I'll take it. I'll see it happening for any other team but the Heat.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay.
It's
Yeah. I mean, it's bold. Thanks, Mike.
It's one of the
I
hot
respect
takes of all time.
It's a hot take. All right, Aaron, give me your last one.
Okay. Uh Luca like similarly, like Luca asks out halfway through the season. So we just talked about all these teams in the West, about how crowded it is. We didn't even bother to bring up the Mavs for good reason, because they suck. They re-signed Kyrie on a 3-year deal uh, to appease Luca, I guess. For what? Your third option is Grant Williams, a guy who started like barely 20-ish games in his last 2 seasons with the Celtics. I guess he is primed to make a jump, but you are not getting a bench guy to be the third guy on a supposed championship roster. I think Luca is going to be absolutely sick when he actually watches these guys play. And this is what Mark Cuban deserves for putting absolute rubbish around a generational talent halfway through the season. Hopefully, before I hope Luca asks out. I think he asks out and just ends this mess of a like a superstar being mishandled like this. I don't know the last time I saw this.
Yeah, maybe like Anthony Davis. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Who do we think who do we think causes more drama in Dallas? Kyrie or Luca?
I mean, both for different reasons, but I think Luca's going to be louder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look, man, my hot take is literally almost the exact opposite. I think the Mavericks are going to be contending next year.
Why? I don't see it. I don't see any path.
Okay, Luca and Kyrie are going to be great, first of all. And I think their supporting cast is just a lot better than it was last season. I think the Mavs are going to win around 54 or 55 games. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Again,
Look, they have Grant Williams. They have Seth Curry.
Oh, they have Grant Williams.
Hey.
That's
They're
sick.
gonna these are guys you surround with Kyrie and Luca. Grant Williams, Seth Curry. I think Dante Exum coming back to the NBA is gonna be huge. I think he's definitely on a mission to prove something. Josh Green, Jaden Hardy. I think these guys are gonna
All
play the
bums.
roles.
okay, first of all, Grant Williams is only making an impact is if he actually becomes Batman on the court and takes out the other players, because there's no way he's actually providing any impact as a third option for a championship roster. Like
He's not even the third option.
Who is?
Yeah.
There's
Who scores
there
other than those two on
really
that team?
is.
Tim
Who
Hardaway?
scores?
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll have to be Tim.
Oh, Tim Hardaway should be coming off the bench. That's a sixth man. Dude, they could be starting 2 rookies this year. Like
I'm just saying,
Powell's not a
their
serviceable
roster
starting
got
big.
better all around compared
It
to how
got
it was last season.
Yeah, but they sucked last season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but like they got better marginally. Like none of these things are moving the needle. Like Grant Williams isn't moving the needle for me. Dante Exum, who we haven't seen since like NBA 2K 15? What year was he in 2K, bro? Like
Yeah,
that was the
15.
best thing he's ever done. I don't care that he played well at the where was he? Was he in the NBL or was he in Euro League? Doesn't
I think
matter. He's not good. Okay, like I don't know, man. He could
I'm
be
expecting him to make an
they
impact.
could be starting 2 rookies, bro. Like Derek Lively could be their starting big man. Who I like Derek Lively.
Put him over Dwight Powell. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like, bro, Olivier Maxence Prosper could be their starting 4. Like this team's not good.
And another thing, like when you say the Mavs are going to be contenders, that means you're displacing one more team from the 8 teams that made the playoffs last year. If you're saying that the Timberwolves are already one of them, who else?
Let me check.
Like I don't know, they should be in like the Robert Williams sweepstakes, you know? Like go get a legitimate like board crashing defensive big. Like this is silly.
I don't know if they can. Like with
Yeah.
what?
Hey, Dante Exum.
Dante Exum, man.
He's
Don't
next
sleep.
up. He's
Steph
next
Curry.
up.
Steph Curry, don't sleep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Derrick Jones Jr., don't sleep.
Who's he fooling, bro? Who you fooling, man?
Yo, this is a hot take for a reason.
Yeah, geez Louise, man.
Mavericks a contender. Luka and Kyrie are going to be incredible together.
You said 54 wins, 55
wins.
wins.
54 wins.
Yikes. So just for context, do you know how many games the Nuggets won last year?
53.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying the Mavericks get more wins than the Nuggets last year?
Yes, I am.
That's okay. All right, we can move on. Yeah, that's silly, bro. All right.
Take of the day. Thank
All
you.
right, here's my last hot take. I think that the Nets are going to be good. I think that like there's a lot of well, good might be a stretch. I think that they end up as like I think they end up in the top 4 in the East. And like the East is a mess. I think that there's a lot of room for teams to kind of make the playoffs somehow. But I think that the Nets are more than good enough to make the playoffs because Ben Simmons is back.
I like it already.
He's back, bro.
I like it already.
He's back. I'm buying into the workout videos this time. He looks big. He looks tough. He looks strong. He doesn't look injured. I think this is it. I think that we're really about to see it. I don't like the way that he kind of melds with Claxton when you have both of them out on the court at the same time. The lineup doesn't really click. Like, yeah, you might get like a pretty solid defensive lineup if Ben Simmons can actually recapture his kind of glory days, but you're putting 2 absolute non-shooters and 2 guys that can't hit free throws out on the court at the same time, which is kind of messy, but I think that it works. I just think that it works. I think that the Mikal Bridges is ready to take that step. I think that Cam Johnson's a perfect complementary piece. Like, this is probably the best like role-playing cast. Obviously not the best superstar that Ben Simmons has played with, but I think it's the best role-playing cast that Ben Simmons will have played with. There's so many guys to kick it out to. I think that Spencer Dinwiddie is like a serviceable kind of guard to keep in the backcourt there. I think if you get Cam Thomas like 6th man, I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready for the Nets to be a top 4 seed in the East because Ben Simmons is back.
See the Nets.
I think.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying something.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I absolutely like this. Although, like I am also rooting for the Nets just because of Lonnie Walker being on the team now. I I like this team. I like the young guys that they have. But at the same time, I don't think you said top four. I don't think they're better than the Heat. I don't think they're better than the Knicks. I don't think they're better than the Cavs. And that's just three teams aside from Bucks and Celtics. So at best, I think that's a top six team.
It's
Oh,
see,
sorry,
like
Sixers.
you're
Sixers.
counting out the Ben Simmons renaissance. Like that's really what it comes down to. This hinges upon Ben Simmons being back, and
Listen,
I think he's back. He
I
said it himself.
He said it's gonna be scary,
It's gonna be
I
scary, bro.
which we heard before,
I'm
but
ready
this
for
time
it.
it's actually gonna be scary.
I'm ready for it.
I believe it. I believe that Ben Simmons is back, but at the same time, this is the organization that employs Spencer Dinwiddie as their starting point guard. So I am sorry. I cannot
He's
fully trust this
serviceable.
team.
He's serviceable. It's okay, man. He's all
I
right.
don't think Spencer Dinwiddie starting as bad as
Spencer did shitty or whatever he called him. He
Yeah,
got
that's
called.
what he said. Yeah, listen, he's
I have belief, bro.
listen. If your point guard is not smart, you cannot win. Like he's a crypto weirdo. He's not smart, so there's only so much they can do. Unfortunately, yeah, that's all I have to say.
so weird.
Okay. All right. Let me read
Man.
off Mike's last one just real quick, and then we're getting out of here. Anthony Edwards, first team All NBA.
I see
Who's he
it.
fooling? I see it. Look, bro, if Shea Gilgeous-Alexander can do it on a losing team, so can Ant.
Yeah,
Right? And like that's kind of where look, like you guys were giving me crap for saying that like, oh, I've got Ant in like my top 5 MVP or whatever. Yeah, so was Shea last year. Okay? They still missed the playoffs. I think the Timberwolves missed the playoffs and Ant still makes it top 5 in MVP voting and first team All NBA. I believe it, bro.
Okay.
I'm here.
okay.
I'm with Mike.
I think Ant's due for a big season. So
Yeah. Okay, we're good.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's that.
That's
All right,
that.
sweet. Boys, it's been a slice. Too bad we couldn't have Mike here to make him explain these freaking takes, bro. Lakers first team. What are we doing here? Embiid on the Heat. What are we doing here, bro? Yeah, we're gonna cook him in the group chat for those. Okay. His last one, his fourth one was Magic make the playoffs, which is like, bro, that's not hot.
yeah.
We know. The East is trash. They're making it over the Raptors, I promise you. But yeah. All right. So that is this episode of the Positionless Pod. What is this? Our 33rd episode? Larry Bird? The Larry Bird episode? Or Wardell +3?
Oh my
Mike wants
god.
to- so annoying about it.
Yeah,
bro.
Wardell +3.
Yeah, it's been a slice. Next week we will be back. We'll be starting off our conference prediction episodes, our conference preview episodes. Look forward to that. Until then, make sure to check us out on socials. Make sure to follow the Kickout and all of our personal accounts on Twitter, on Instagram. That's it. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. Obviously got the shorts going. Check us out on TikTok. Yeah. Please rate and review the pod. Take it easy. Signing off for the most bright young basketball minds in the media landscape today. Aaron Matthew, Diego San Agustin, and Michael Anthony Cruz, who's enjoying the Philippines. I'm Kai Gamage. See you guys next week.